Good morning, interwebs. It is after 1 in the morning. Everyone else is asleep, and my house smells like bananas. So, first of all, I will address the fact that my hands are all sorts of wacky colors. I'll explain in a minute, but just so you're not thrown off, because I can't not wave my hands around. It's part of Kendra's charm, the waving of the hands. So, last I spoke to you was last night / early this morning at like 4 or something, and I was all discombobulated, and then I was gonna go to bed. Well, like, the catharsis of talking to y'all was helpful. It actually helped me focus, and, I decided I was going to go, and I was going to cut out my pajama pants. Did that. After I did that, I felt, like, very much more awake, and, like, I need to get something done. So, I made another Christmas present last night before I went to bed. I did not go to bed till after 6:30 this morning, but this is what I made, and it's going to look weird, and I'm going to explain. So, this is a present for my 5-year-old. As you may or may not know, we are a wee bit obsessed with the Cars franchise and all of the Cars films around here. So if you have seen Cars 3, one of the characters is a car who is like a trainer. And so she's, like, motivating and has all these, like, ways to motivate her cars. And one of them is she's telling one of the cars to pretend he's a fluffy cloud. And then it kind of becomes a joke several times throughout the movie. They're bantering back and forth. And Lightning McQueen's like, oh, hope you got your fluffy cloud. So it's, like, a thing that we say now. And the joke, and he says, hope you got your fluffy cloud. Got my drip pan. Got my nap. And so I made a fluffy cloud. And it's kind of inspired by the hat I made for the snow person. There is a 50 light strand of Christmas lights in here, and there's a hook thing up here. There is a plant hook hanging in the ceiling above my son's bed. This is going to hang on said plant hook, and I have a white extension cord, which will run up the ceiling and down the wall to a place next to his bed. This is going to be a new nightlight for their bedroom, and it's a fluffy cloud for him to have above his bed while he takes a nap and has his oil pan. I think he's going to love it. I recognize that to an outside observer, it's probably really, really weird, but I think it's really cute, and Steve was like, oh, that's right. So, we'll see. You never know with kids, but I think it's gonna be good. Did that, obviously, like I said, it was 6:30, I went to sleep. I slept terribly again last night, but I wouldn't have slept any better, I don't think, if I'd gone to bed earlier. When I did get up a little after 11, like 11:15ish, Steve was like, hey, I called and made us chiropractor appointments for 12:30, which is great. I got myself around. I did just a little bit of, like, puttering and organizing of my day, had my coffee, had a little something to eat, whatever. Went to the chiropractor, who I was telling her all the things that were wrong, and she fixed something in my neck, because there had been a spot back here that had just been hurting really bad, like when I moved my head certain ways. That seems to have been fixed, and then my hand is still sore, like there's still muscle issues, but there had been something clearly up in my left hand, that she fixed, which is good, and I kind of wanted to get on it, because if you all remember this summer when my left hand went all wonky for, like, way longer than it should have, it was starting to feel like it did at the beginning of that, which is not ideal. I don't think it's from, like, doing too much. I think it's that something was up with it, and then, obviously, it would be best to rest it when that happens, but once again, I'm not in a position to do that right now, kind of like I wasn't this summer. So, anyways, yeah, my hand is functioning, and it's not like a claw or anything, so thumbs up for that. Then we went to the local grocery store, actually owned by my chiropractor and her husband, and that was fun. And there, we needed to pick up some makings for Grandma Jell-O, because we had forgotten to get frozen strawberries, and we also needed to get frozen orange juice to make mimosas for the birthday, because birthday mimosas are my new favorite thing about having a birthday, and have been for like the last 2 or 3 years. Birthday mimosas. Also, thumbs up. I highly suggest them for your birthday. If you do not do birthday mimosas, why? So, I Went there, and they happened to have, like, they had the normal bananas, because there's bananas in Grandma Jello. So they have the normal bananas, and they have the spotted bananas, and they had a whole shelf that just said free. So we got a bunch of the free bananas, which they were trying to get rid of, because they didn't want to throw them out, but they were super not ideal for consumption, and the grocer was just like, I can't charge people for these, they're not good enough. And I was like, well, that's fine, we'll take some off your hands. So we have some for Grandma Jello, but Steve chopped up a bunch of them today, and put them in the dehydrator to make banana chips, and they are going to be so good. But my house smells like bananas now, like everywhere. And he put them in the dehydrator while I was taking a nap. So I came downstairs, I was talking to him, and he walked by me, and I got a whiff of the bananas, and then I didn't smell them, and then he walked by me again, and I got another whiff. It always happened to be with where I was standing in the kitchen at the time. But I was like, dude, you have to have washed your hands after you mess with them. Why do you reek of bananas? And then I realized Steve did not reek of bananas. My entire house reeks of bananas. Which, I mean, there are worse things your house could smell like. So, like I said, I took a nap. Like, we came home, we had lunch, and then I'd kind of joke about taking a nap. I was like, no, I really think I'm going to go take one. And because I had, not gone to bed till super late, and I've been sleeping really bad. And I went to sleep, and I'd set my alarm to wake me up in an hour and a half. And that went off, and I was just like, can't do this. And I hit snooze, and it went off again, and then I turned it off. And I didn't get out of bed till like 6:15 tonight. So I think I took like a 4.5 hour nap today. But oh my gosh, when I woke up, I physically feel so much better. Clearly the adjustment with chiropractor did a lot of things for my physical well-being, and my brain feels more connected to my body, probably because I got some good sleep, which I think I had not been getting because of the thing in my neck that had been hurting. I also was commenting to my family that, like, I fell asleep in one position, and I woke up in the same position, and I have not been able to find a comfortable position to sleep in at least a week. Like, every time, I just keep waking up a lot because I'm not comfortable, and yeah. But I was, so yay. And then we watched Santa Baby, which is an annual holiday tradition for Steve and I. Started after we got married, we'd watch it every year, like, on Hallmark, and then we didn't have cable anymore, so I had to buy the Santa Baby movie for him one year for Christmas, so that way we could continue to watch it. So, we watch Santa Baby every year. Had our annual viewing of that, and had, like, cut up fruit and cheese and bread and potato chips for dinner, and that was really tasty. And then we did our tie-dye shirt dyeing. So while we were watching the movie, I did all the rubber banding. I take all the shirts and I rubber band them all myself, and then we help the kids dye them, and then Steve and I dye our own. We just figured out that works the best because they don't have the patience or the dexterity at this point in their life to do the rubber banding. So I asked them kind of what shapes they wanted, and then I did it. So then Steve and I each took one of our sons and helped them dye their shirt. My daughter did her own, and then Steve and I did ours. Turned out I had just enough dye to do all of our shirts. It was 16 bottles of dye. I had purchased 2 sets of like the 6. You just add water to them dyes at Joann's that I found on clearance throughout the year. So they were like $7 or $8 a set, which is like 50% off. They were in the clearance section, like I said. So I'd had those sitting aside for, I think I found them this summer, actually. But I've now just started picking them up when I find them on clearance throughout the year, so we have them for Christmas. And we dyed our shirts and wrapped everything up, and then everybody else went to bed. And I have been sitting in the parlor since then, in front of the fire, which it's a little warm. The weather's weird right now. Like, our house keeps doing these big, like, heat shifts, but it is getting progressively colder out. When I went to put wood on just a little bit ago, there was a slight shimmer to all the wood in the cart because there's just a little bit of frost on everything. Like, not enough to make it a problem with the wood, but it glistens in the moonlight, which is kind of pretty. So we, did that, and then I've been listening to podcasts, and I'm working on making an elephant. I just had to make the elephant limbs, then that is done, and then that means I just need to put sleeves and the band on my son's sweater, and we'll be done. So I think we're in good shape to have all of the kids' presents done for Christmas. Steve's presents will probably not be sewn, but his boxers are all cut out. I just need to sew them, which I will just kind of line up all of the presents that aren't done for Steve and I, and they will become like the top of my sewing list after the holiday. But I am feeling a lot better than I was last night. I assume in large part, honestly, that it was from getting adjusted, because I just physically feel a lot better, and feeling more connected to my body is just good, because when you feel like that floating head living your life, it's not good things. But now I just have these funny hands. And yes, you can wear gloves when you do this tie-dye, but especially when I'm helping the kids, I don't feel like I have enough control, and neither does Steve. So we don't wear the gloves when we do it. We just let our hands get dyed now, and you just wash them a bunch, and it'll all be gone in a couple days. So that's just the way it is. Okay, I'm going to go and work on my elephant, and then I will check in with you all before I go to bed. It is 4:06, and I'm about to head to bed, but I thought I would show you what I finished tonight. So, on the way to the chiropractor this morning, I started working on an elephant, a gray one, and this is the beginning of it. And then it got all weird and yarn barfy, the way that it'd been a skein I'd used part of, and I'd wrapped around the end, and it got all like, whatever, like this. And I just didn't have time for that, so I was like, I'm gonna cut my losses. So I pulled out a piece, went, there's my losses, and I cut it off. Now, it really won't be a big deal to unravel this. I just, like, legit did not have time to deal with it at the time. So, I'm going to unwind this and roll it into a ball, which will also get combined with this little ball, which is everything that's left of the skein, and these will go into my scrap stash blanket. But what I did complete was, we have a body, an ear, I don't know, there's some appendages, legs, arms, all that good stuff, a trunk, another ear, and a head. So this is an entire elephant. You think my kid will like it just like this? No, tomorrow I will stuff and sew that together, and I have another elephant that has to get sewn together. So tomorrow will be the sewing of the animals and finishing of the sleeves of the cardigan. So I think I am on decent pace, and I guess I can leave my little glove here for the night, because I'm going to go to bed. And like I said, I think I'll try and get up at a reasonable-ish time. We'll see. It's 4 now, so even if I got up at like 10, that would still be like 6 hours of sleep. But I'm basically just going to sleep till I wake up. That just seems like a good plan. And Steve had tonight off. He goes back to work tomorrow night. So tomorrow is like my last kind of good opportunity to sleep in for the next bit of time. And then our schedule gets a little weird for a couple weeks. But that is neither here nor there at this point. And I've talked for a really long time. Hi, Jezebel. Did you just want to say hello? Okay. Well, I will see you all tomorrow. Nighty-night.